During his reign in the 2nd century AD, Marcus Aurelius kept a journal called Meditations, which outlined his philosophical ideas and provided practical guidance for cultivating self-control. Marcus Aurelius believed self-discipline was crucial for overcoming destructive emotions and living a virtuous life guided by wisdom. This article will explore Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism's key concepts and exercises around developing strong self-discipline. By following these teachings, anyone today can learn to master their impulses, focus their efforts, direct their judgments, and live with purpose. Marcus Aurelius' wisdom provides a framework for self-improvement that emphasizes self-mastery, reason, mindfulness, and kindness. By putting these principles into consistent practice, we can overcome internal chaos and strengthen our discipline to live more meaningful lives. Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers of his time. The Stoics believed in living according to reason and virtue rather than giving in to destructive emotions and passions. Self-discipline was seen as essential to living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius embodied these Stoic principles as emperor, striving to rule justly and fairly despite the pressures of his position. His journal, Meditations, explains how he practiced Stoic self-discipline daily. The importance of self-discipline. The Stoics saw self-discipline as crucial for several reasons. First, it enables us to control our impulses and desires rather than being controlled by them. Marcus Aurelius advised examining one's judgments and not automatically acting on initial impressions. With self-discipline, we can pause and consider the proper action rather than reacting rashly. Second, self-discipline allows us to focus on what is truly important and within our control. By not wasting time and energy on pointless anxieties, we can direct them to meaningful pursuits. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that his true purpose was to live justly and do his duty, focusing on the present. The Stoics saw dwelling on the past or future as a roadblock to self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius advised living in the present moment. Confine yourself to the present. When our minds wander, we become distracted from acting virtuously. By continually returning his focus to the present, Marcus Aurelius remained disciplined in his actions. Examining your judgments. Marcus Aurelius stressed not taking our initial impressions and judgments of things as absolute truth. Instead, we should examine them and determine if they are rational before acting. Critically evaluating whether our judgments about events and people are accurate allows self-discipline to triumph over hasty emotion. Accepting your fate. An essential component of self-discipline for Stoics like Marcus Aurelius was accepting one's fate. Fate leads the willing and drags along the unwilling. By not constantly fighting against unavoidable realities, we conserve willpower to change what is within our power. Complaining about inconveniences or misfortunes was considered undisciplined and pointless by the Stoics. Conquering desires and passions. Marcus Aurelius warned against being ruled by desire. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Instead of lashing out, we can practice self-discipline by pausing and examining the desire or passion. Asking ourselves, is this rational and virtuous? Allows reason to overcome destructive emotions and impulses. With consistent effort, we can conquer our base urges. Exercising reason and logic. Marcus Aurelius emphasized utilizing reason and logic to evaluate our impressions and correct ourselves. Emotions and desires can distort our thinking and disrupt self-discipline. We can identify flaws and exercise reason over passion by objectively analyzing a situation and our judgments. This prevents rash words or actions we may later regret due to a lack of self-control. Applying Marcus Aurelius' teachings. Brett's journey to self-discipline. Brett is a 27-year-old office worker who struggles with self-discipline. He frequently oversleeps, misses deadlines, loses focus during work, and gives in to distractions like social media and TV. Brett's lack of self-control causes him stress and prevents him from advancing in his career. After learning about Stoic philosophy and Marcus Aurelius, Brett decides to practice some principles to improve his self-discipline. He starts a morning routine of meditation to practice mindfulness and self-control. At work, Brett sets reminders to stay focused on immediate tasks instead of dwelling on past mistakes or future worries. When Brett has an urge to slack off during work and browse sports websites, he pauses and asks himself if this aligns with his goal of being more disciplined. By exerting willpower to overcome the distraction, Brett reinforces his self-control muscle. In the evenings, Brett reflects on his self-discipline daily, noting instances where he gave in to impulses versus exerted self-mastery. Over time, Brett finds these practices help increase his discipline. He no longer hits the snooze button but wakes up promptly. His work productivity improves as he meets deadlines and focuses during work hours. Instead of rushing home to watch TV, Brett goes to the gym 3 times a week, demonstrating the ability to prioritize goals over comfort. After 6 months, Brett's self-discipline has strengthened significantly. His boss comments that Brett seems more organized, diligent, and ready to take on more responsibility. Brett credits adopting Marcus Aurelius' teachings for giving him the framework to gain control over his habits and impulses. Though maintaining discipline requires continued effort, Brett is motivated by a growing sense of purpose and accomplishment. This case illustrates how Marcus Aurelius' principles can be applied by anyone today seeking to master self-discipline. By practicing self-awareness, self-control, and rational thinking daily, we can overcome destructive behaviors and live more purposeful, virtuous lives. Brett exemplifies how discipline leads to achievement and provides a template for others to follow. Marcus Aurelius provided invaluable wisdom on cultivating self-discipline that remains applicable today. His teachings emphasize self-mastery, practicing virtue through aligned thoughts and actions, overcoming base urges through reason, and maintaining control over one's judgments and impulses. Following Marcus Aurelius' principles, we can live purposeful lives guided by wisdom rather than destructive passions. With commitment and vigilance, his timeless methods can help anyone foster strong self-discipline.